Hey, what's up? This is Thomas Ian Nicholas. You might know me as Kevin from American Pie or Hen, Ree, Ro, and Gar, Ner from Rookie of the Year. And you are on Blunt USA. So don't turn that dial or click that mouse or whatever.
Oh, this is a fun one right here. We have Thomas Nicholas from the Thomas Nicholas Band and, of course, the American Pie movie series. Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, Ned. Good to be talking with you again, man. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you for taking the time.
very much appreciate you taking time out, man. Now, you performed with your son on a recent show, or you had your son perform with you. How was that? That must have been an amazing feeling.
Dude, having my son on the drum kit for a show was like a totally surreal moment, and I was just such a proud dad. He nailed that show. He
Yeah.
rocked. I'm going to be putting some videos together. I've seen a couple fan videos that I've shared on my TNB family page. That's not when I say family, it's like a family of fans, not just my
Yeah.
family members. And the cool thing is, he's been playing piano for 10 years. And when he picked up the drums like 6 months ago, he learned a couple of my songs and he goes, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And he goes, cool. So where are we playing this summer, Dad? Where am I? I'm going to go on tour with you, right? So it's just, I couldn't be a more proud dad.
That is amazing right there. And only in 6 months as well. That's crazy. I assumed he would have just grown up around it on the drum kit.
No, I mean, like I said, he's been playing piano forever.
Yeah.
And, I just posted a video. It's on his Instagram page where he just like busted out some Rachmaninoff at a airport piano. And so, yeah, he's super talented, but he's a big fan of Queen and Led Zeppelin. And I think
No.
kind of like looking at what they were doing and kind of like getting into that sort of, rock and roll mentality. I think he just wanted to get out there and get on stage.
Oh, that is so amazing right there. And like, I would probably describe your life at the moment anyway, Thomas, as like a groundhog day of awesomeness. Is it crazy? Do you sort of feel like you're living this role of watching American Pie and performing over and over?
I didn't really think about it as a groundhog day of awesomeness, but that is the most quotable version of what like life on tour can be like, where yes, there is a bit of rinse repeat, but it's also awesome, so I have no complaints.
Yeah, I love
And
that. How did the American Pie Emo Night concept come about? Was that your brainchild?
it happened because a friend of mine who's in a Blink 182 tribute act had this idea of our bands going on tour together and playing, the movie. So his
Yeah.
concept was we play the movie and then the Blink 182 tribute act plays and then my band plays. And then we were just coming out of like lockdown, which we didn't know we were going to get a second round of that. So then we were like, oh, let's do it at like drive-in movie theaters where you can have social distancing, and it just didn't kind of work out again. But that was the initial concept of I'd done retro screenings, obviously been touring with my band for 18 years,
Yeah.
around the world, and 10 years around LA before that. So the combo platter, when we came back to the idea, I had been doing so many emo nights that I was like, oh, well, what if we just call it American Pie Emo Night? And then my friend's like, well, it's more pop punk in the soundtrack. I was like, so there's so much
Yeah.
crossover. You never really know. Well, there's crossover, like you've got Lit that's in so many soundtracks of American Pie that is more pop punk, but still they get played at every emo night. And then you've got Blink 182 as a crossover band. But then there's bands like Good Charlotte that are on the soundtrack, All American Rejects, and all these bands are kind of, sort of both. And that's why, but yeah, the initial concept came from the movie and the band kind of combining into one night. And then I sort of coined the phrase American Pie Emo Night.
All right, man. Well, what's the vibe you're chasing with these events? Are you after the more party type vibe, the more performance vibe, or is it pure nostalgia therapy sort of thing, or what's the all round take on these shows?
The take on the American Pie Emo Nights is definitely the shot of nostalgia that everyone really gets a kick out of, and myself included. I mean, I have new tastes in new media and new art that's being released, but there's something really special about diving in and not just dipping your toe in the water, but going full bore into nostalgia, because it's just, I get it. I mean, now I understand why, my mom still listened to her, late 70s rock that I, grew up listening to, and it was sort of just always playing, because it just makes you feel good to listen to the music that reminds you of, your younger years. And that's kind of the vibe. We're doing a few different things, just like the last time that I was in Australia. So you have to kind of pay attention to each American Pie Emo Night. Sometimes we play the film, sometimes it's just the band. I mean, it's always the band, but like the things around it are different.
Yeah, that is crazy right there. And we're talking about watching this movie. How many times do you think you've seen American Pie throughout it's just gone 26 years, right?
I spent a good majority of the time not watching the film at all. Not because I didn't like it, but just because, it's not like I'm at home flipping on my own movies on the TV. My son is 13, my daughter's 9. I'm certainly not showing them the film. But I think in recent times, I kind of launched the American Pie Emo Nights in June of last year. And I did about 18 of them last year, and I think I've lost count this year. So I've definitely seen the movie more times in the last year than I probably have in the last 25.
That's crazy. Well, do people still shout Stifler quotes or Kev quotes at you in public, or has that died down a little?
I never really had to deal with the quotes. I remember going to do like TRL back in New York, with Carson Daly hosting. Of course, it was all sort of sketch because Tara Reid and Carson had just broken up, and then there we were on live TV and like going, whoa, what's going to happen? Yeah, this isn't awkward. But I remember like walking around with like Eddie K. Thomas around New York, because he was from there. So we decided to hang, and people would just yell "shit break" from like across the street. It's weird. For Sean, they just yell Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Which is a strange one. But there's been like a couple of moments like, where people have yelled. But I mean, what do they yell to Kevin? Like, to the next step? I don't have the same sort of embarrassment, I think, that my friends do.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, man. Well, switching things up, your album has just gone 1 year. What's the status on new music for the Thomas Nicholas Band?
It's a good question. I definitely have been writing for the 8th album. I've got a few songs that I'm, slowly sort of piecing together. I've been trying to figure out which way to go with the next album. I feel a little bit like Bruce Springsteen, if you know the story, though that was his first record deal. But when he lived in Asbury Park, he had a record contract that he carried around in his back pocket for like 2 weeks before he signed it on the hood of a Camaro in the parking lot of the Stone Pony. I have a current offer from a label in my inbox, like a deal memo.
Oh, nice.
But, I don't necessarily like it, because I like to have full control of the things that I'm creating in the music world. So, I'm just still in conversations with them and kind of shopping around to see what's going to be next, and whether or not I'm going to have time. Like Taylor Carroll, the drummer from Lit, moved from LA to Nashville. I'm here. So when I'm home from tour, I don't really want to like go work on a record in New York or Nashville, as fun as that would be. I want to spend my time when I'm not on tour with my kids. So I got to figure out who lives in. There's plenty of people in LA. I just got to go and figure out who I'm going to work with on the next record.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. So it's a bit of a case of watch this space more. So We're Going to Be Okay has definitely got legs on it though.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of those fun albums where I just recently played a show in Vegas during WrestleMania, and Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup, who wrote the title track with me, that I recorded with Bowling for Soup. I played a little bit more of those songs at that set, and Jarrett, like after the set, was like, dude, that album rocks. Like, you have to play more songs from the album. So you're going to start to see more shows with the band where we're going to be playing a lot of songs from the We're Going to Be Okay album. And then if you want to hear the cover songs, you're going to need to hit an American Pie Emo Night. And that's going to be the differentiation between the band's live shows versus the band's live shows at an American Pie Emo Night.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea, because like I love seeing the covers, but it'd be cool to see more of those Thomas Nicholas originals as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely infusing some more into the show this time around than I was in February. So you will get to hear some extra ones. My daughter's favorite track on the album is Give 'Em What They Want. So
Yeah.
that one's now in the set. And then I didn't realize it, but there's a tune on there called Just Leave It that we originally wanted Newfound Glory to do a feature on it. Jordan and Cyrus didn't see my message in time. And then we were going to have Chris Rowe from the Ataris feature on it, and he was on tour. So we were like, well, we have to do the song, even if we can't get one of our friends to come do it. So I just sort of left that song because it was a failed feature for me. I like sort of left it to the album. And then recently I played it live. That song slaps live.
Yes.
So that is now in the set every time. And yeah, that's a fun one.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to that, man. All right. Well, you're on the road a lot. I want to know what's been the wildest or weirdest fan interaction that you've had throughout all of these emo nights and whatnot?
The weird, I mean, the good thing is that I have a lot of like really, like I was talking about the Facebook, TNB family page. That's kind of what I call it. Like the super fans of the Thomas Nicholas Band, they kind of they get along with each other, kind of like Bowling for Soup fans. And we only started that like about a year ago, and there's already 1,800 people in the private fan group that kind of like commingle and meet up before shows if they live in the same area. I don't know. They're cool people. People have been getting a lot of tattoos now, which is kind of wild. Like that's only been a recent thing in the last couple of years. A couple of people have like the TMB logo. A few people have been getting the TMB heart. My buddy Jacoby, who's a stand-up comedian, got it like right on his neck.
There you go.
Yeah. So he's on like Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. I feel like he's just advertising my band. I feel like I've got like, billboard space like right on Jacoby's neck.
It's like when you see it on the cars and whatnot. Looking ahead, Thomas, I want to know, just a quick fast five here. What's the favorite song outside of yours, of course, that pops up on the American Pie soundtrack?
Oh, favorite song on the American Pie soundtrack. For the longest time, that's always been Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger. That one's in the set still. We played that one last time around. That's kind of a hard one not to play. I've gotten to cover that with Jarrett Reddick in Vegas a couple times, like for side shows for when we were young. I don't know. That one just has like a good vibe for sure.
Oh, sick. And how about this one then? Blink 182 or My Chemical Romance?
Oh, dude. I mean, we're friendly with Mark Hoppus, and I've been, playing all the small things for years, and I always give Mark a shout out for beating cancer. So I'm of course going Blink. I mean, meeting all those guys on the set of the first American Pie when obviously they had Dude Ranch, but Enema of the State hadn't dropped yet. So I feel like I met them in this like just before things really took off. Yeah. And I have a lot of other like interesting connections with them. So yeah, always going to be Blink.
Yeah, same. Great to see Blink and Mark. I mean, a Mark Hoppus and Thomas Nicholas collaboration maybe one day.
Anything is possible. I've reached out to Mark on a few things. Obviously, he's a little busy selling out stadiums at the current time. So,
all right, man. Last up, what's one question about American Pie that you wish people would stop asking, and maybe one that you'd wish they'd ask more?
I don't necessarily wish that anyone would stop asking any particular questions. I would say the most common questions that I get, the two most popular, or the most popular is, am I friends with everyone in real life that was in the movie? And the answer is yes. It's such an amazing group of people. It's such a close group of friends. And even though we don't see each other all the time, it's kind of like old high school friends that when we do, like all the good vibes just come back immediately. Like within 30 seconds, we're laughing about something. And so that's a question that I get all the time. I guess it's surprising to me that people would think that we weren't. I know we're all decent actors, but we're not that good. We're a good group of friends.
Oh, I love that. It's like the reunion movie all over again.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out, Thomas. You've got a whole bunch in the works. So what's up next in the way of touring and whatnot on the United States side of things?
Right around my birthday, a few shows in New York, in Olean, Rochester, and some appearances. I'm trying to think where I'm going to next. I think I'm going out to, I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con and playing a show at House of Blues there. It's kind of an annual tradition. And then I'm going to be part of a panel. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about this project that I just sort of fell into with the Lawrence brothers, but I'll be sure. It's a comic book, and I'm not really sure exactly what my involvement is going to be with the comic book. But now that I'm doing the panel, I guess I might be somewhat in the comic book, but that's about all I can say. And then from there, I'm going back to Chicago, sort of home of the other big movie that I did, Rookie of the Year, and doing some shows out there. So you know about American Pie Emo Night. I'm doing it's probably only the 5th time I've done it, Rookie of the Year Emo Night at the Indiana State Fair, mainly because when they wanted to play American Pie, I pointed out to them that there would be children there and that we should probably change that to Rookie of the Year Emo Night, because I don't think anyone wants their 5-year-old watching American Pie on the big screen at a state fair.
Maybe not.
Being a dad, I made a good decision for everyone's family that will be attending the Indiana State Fair.
Yeah, parenting done right, and raise yourself a drummer. Nice work there, Thomas. Well, very much appreciate you taking time out. Everything you need to know, tinicholas.com. Thanks so much for joining us, Thomas.
Dude, Ned, thank you so much for having me, man.